I kind of assume most people know this, and possibly, to be honest with you, you probably know this stuff too. But in case you don't, if there's any kind of doubt in your mind about what we're talking about when we talk about consciousness, higher consciousness, subconscious, and how, what they all kind of mean, I wanted to do this just mini little video just to explain how it kind of works. And I like the concept of an egg, almost suggests a little energetic if you want, because our consciousness is not something that's tangible in any way, right? It's more of an energy of what's going on. And we have a certain part of us that is actually conscious. We have a conscious awareness, something we know what's going on at that moment. We have conscious thoughts. We're aware of what we're actually thinking. There's another part of us that we refer to as our subconscious. Our subconscious is a much bigger part of us, and actually it runs our automatic systems from the physical, which means it keeps our heart pumping, which I think there's something beyond that with the whole heart pumping thing, etc. But just, that's what how some people put it. The fact that you can walk, etc. That's all. So this is where your habits are stored. Things that you've learned how to do that you don't have to think about doing anymore. It's also where you've kind of developed patterns of behavior, and they are stored in here too. This is where all your automated behaviors are driven. Automated behavior come from here. What else do I want to do? Oh, this is where so for instance, this is where your fundamental beliefs that manage your behaviors or manage how you respond to things. This is where they're all stored. This is where your experiences that you've had are stored, but it's also what you've made up. And I want to make this absolutely clear that it's what you've made up that those experiences mean is stored. And what you've made up those experiences mean, ultimately impacts your beliefs about what is true in life and what isn't. And the beliefs then run, the patterns that you behave. So it's all very, a lot of subconscious stuff. It's all the stuff that we kind of don't really look at very often, but it tends to run our lives. And this is impacting our conscious thought and awareness all the time, and we can become aware of thoughts that are subconscious. The more conscious we become, the more aware we become, start to notice hidden thoughts. We're running towards something, and previously we were only aware of the fact that we were running towards it, physically actually running, but actually there's a bunch of thoughts going on in our head at the same time as we're running, and as we become more aware, we start to notice, and this starts to tell us some of the stuff that's going on in our subconscious, what we believe about ourselves, what we believe to be true about the world, Anyway, I can go into it on a great deal of detail. I'm trying to make this short. On the other side of this is our higher conscious. Now, this is where your intuition, I should make that go outwards, shouldn't I? Intuition, your inspiration, it's the part of you that is aspirational. This is, what you aspire to. It's the part of you that actually almost drives you. As you become more conscious and start to have a little more control about what is actually in the subconscious part, you start then to be willing to give more control to the higher conscious. You start listening to your intuition, start hearing the inspiration that comes towards you. This is your connection, if you want to put it this way, is partly through this connection to the universe. This is where I hear the universe. This is where I communicate with the universe. This is where I have that sense that I am more than just a physical being. It's your connection to spirit, if you want, or your soul talking to you. There's nobody knows for sure exactly what it is, but that just kind of gives you an idea that that's that part of you that kind of looks towards things, that wants more things, but wants them from a good, heart-centered, positive place, a place of service, a place of caring, etc. Whereas this is where one thing I have to make very clear, this is where your fears come from. And if you have fear something and you're scared of something, that is an indication of what is actually going on in the subconscious level. Have you found this helpful? It's not meant to be a whole treatise and get everything absolutely right. It's just about giving you a basic idea of the 3 different aspects of yourself that may impact your consciousness. Okay, so let me know what you think. I'd love to hear more. My name is Helen Elizabeth Evans, and my website is www.hands-on-business.com.